Second part, it, it's a societal perspective. Okay, so we are facing what I call the perfect storm in youth employment, multiple challenging factors converging at the same time. First, traditional job creation is lagging behind the number of graduates entering the market. We are producing more qualified young people than there are job opportunities being created. Second, qualified young people, which means that entering the market faster than job opportunities are appearing. The supply demand imbalance is getting worse, not better. Third, the nature of work is changing more rapidly than ever before due to technology and globalization. And fourth, jobs are actually disappearing faster than new ones are being created in many sectors. All of these factors together create a perfect storm that makes traditional employment increasingly difficult for young people. So, someone heard that spec, this word. So, I'm going to talking about the spec. In Korea, high spec is the really problem in recent days. Actually, there's been what I call a qualification arms race that started in the 2000s. What began as reasonable requirements, a college degree and some language skills, has escalated into endless credential competition and an arms race of qualifications. This has created a whole new vocabulary of frustration that didn't exist for previous generation actually. Terms like NEET, not in education, employment, or training. Speak dieta. People sacrificing their life, hobbies, and health for resume baiting. Self-introduction letter phobia. And study about job application essay like that. But this is not an important thing. It's just to recognize that this word is exists in Korea. So here's a reality check. Many young people experience constant pressure to add certifications, volunteer hours, internships, language test scores, yet they still worry it's not enough. And honestly, often it is not enough. Not because young people are not qualified, but because there simply are not enough traditional jobs for all the qualified people. Let me give you some sobering data about the youth employment crisis. Looking at the Korea's youth employment for ages 15 to 29, in 2013, employment rate fell below 40%. So I'm gonna write it. In 2013, employment rate fell down 40%. That's crisis level. Yes, of course. By 2021, we were still struggling to reach 45% still at critical level. Yeah, here is the survey reality. More than half of young people who want to work cannot find employment. Let me be very clear about what this is not because of and what it is because of. This is not because of a lack of qualifications. Koreans are among the most educated people globally. This is not because of lack of work ethic. Korean work ethic is legendary worldwide. But maybe someone don't agree that, but it's a common concept. Yeah. And this is because the traditional employment system cannot absorb all the talented people we are producing. This is because of structural economic changes that are creating fewer traditional jobs. This is because of system overload. We are producing more qualified people than the traditional system can handle. Actually, this is not young people's fault. It's a systemic problem requiring system solutions, and entrepreneurship is one of the most important solutions, of course. Let me put Korea's situation in international context because this will help you understand just how serious the situation is. Looking at OECD employment rates for university graduates age 25 to 34, Dutch leads to 91.6%. I'm gonna write it. Dutch 91 percent, and the UK 90%, actually 90.6%, and Germany 88.4%, and Japan 87.8%, and France 85.2%, and so on. South Korea ranks 31st at approximately 75%. Okay, 75%. The oyster rate is 82.9%. Here's the shocking truth. Having a university degree in Korea provides less employment guarantee than almost any other developed country. Think about that for a moment. You are working incredibly hard, getting excellent educations, but the system can't provide employment opportunities commensurate with your qualification. It's quite low, right? We have a huge gap. So why is it getting worse instead of better? Let me show you the economic projection that explain this. Korea Development Institute predictions show declining economic growth rates 2023 to 2030. We see 1.9% growth, which is manageable for employment. 2031 to 2040, we'll see 1.3% growth, which creates serious concerns. And 2041 to 2050, we'll see just 0.7% growth. 0.7. It's crisis. Yeah. Can you see that number? 2041 to 2050, below the 1%. Yeah. Here's the job creation mathematics. Every 1% decline in economic growth equals 50,000 to 70,000 fewer jobs created. The inevitable conclusion is that youth unemployment will get worse, not better, throughout your careers unless we find alternative solutions. Traditional employment alone cannot solve this problem. Now, let me add another factor that's accelerating all these trends: automation and artificial intelligence, aka AI. We are witnessing what economists call the creative destruction in action. Oxford Economics predicts that 20 million manufacturing jobs will be replaced by robots by the 2030s. But this goes beyond blue-collar jobs. White-collar automation is happening rapidly. It's a really important situation. It's actually many academic people say that blue-collar jobs auto, automation is happening rapidly, more quickly than white-collar worker. But in reality, it's different. So, for example, accounting and bookkeeping are being replaced by AI systems. Legal research is being done by AI lawyer. Financial analysis is being handled by AI algorithm. Medical part is also replaced by AI doctor. And customer service, of course, absolutely handled by AI. This raises a critical question: what kinds of jobs will survive and thrive in an automated world? So this is a really important question. So you must think and ask yourself what kind of jobs will survive in an automated world. Historically, technology creates new jobs while destroying old ones, of course. The question is whether the transition will be smooth enough and whether people will have the skills for the new jobs being created. The World Economic Forum's 2020 findings give us both concerning and encouraging news about the future job market. The concerning news is that 85 million jobs will be displaced in the next 5 years. The encouraging news is 97 million new jobs will be created in the same period. The net result is positive, plus 12 million jobs globally. But here's the critical caveat. These new jobs require completely different skills, of course, than the jobs being lost. You can't just transition from a displaced manufacturing job to a new technology job without developing entirely new capability. So this brings us to the skills that will be in demand in the future job market. The World Economic Forum research identifies the top 5 future job market skills. So I recommend you to memorize or recognize those skills. So number 1, critical thinking and analysis. The ability to examine information objectively and make reasoned judgment. Number 2, creativity and originality. Thinking outside the conventional frameworks and generating novel solutions. Number 3, leadership and social influence. Motivating and guiding others while building relationships. Number 4, technology literacy. Not just using technology, but understanding and adapting to new tech as it emerges. Number five, resilience and adaptability, bouncing back from setbacks and thriving in constant change. Do you notice something? Every single skill I just mentioned is an entrepreneurial skill. Yeah, it's an entrepreneurial skill. Whether you start a business or not, the future job market rewards entrepreneurial thinking. That's why you must study entrepreneurship yourself. This leads us to why society desperately needs more entrepreneurs. It's not just good for individuals, it's essential for economic health. Let's look at job creation reality. Large corporations are reducing their workforce through automation and efficiency improvements. They are not creating enough jobs for talented youth. It's not only for the Korean situation. And the small and medium enterprises, on the other hand, account for the majority of job creation globally. Entrepreneurs don't just create jobs for themselves, they create jobs for others. Entrepreneurs also serve as the innovation engine of the economy. Large corporations are often bureaucratic and risk adverse. Entrepreneurs take big risks that lead to breakthrough innovations. They are also rapid adaptation champions. And during COVID-19, large corporations took months to adopt their business models, while while entrepreneurs pivoted their business in weeks or days. Finally, entrepreneurs excel as crisis solution creators. They are experts at operating with limited resources, finding creative workarounds, and turning constraints into opportunities. The beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that it creates what we call a virtuous cycle or entrepreneurial ecosystem. Here is how it works. An entrepreneur starts a successful business and creates jobs. Employees gain skills and experiences, and some eventually start their own businesses. Successful entrepreneurs become angel investors and fund the next generation of entrepreneurs. More startups get funding and create more jobs and innovation. The ecosystem strengthens and attracts even more talent and investment. We can see this in global success examples. Silicon Valley, as the tech innovation hub, Tel Aviv, startup nation, high startup density, and Estonia, as a digital innovation center that gave us Skype and TestForWise, and Singapore as the Southeast Asian startup hub, and Korea has incredible potential for this kind of ecosystem. We have world-class education, advanced technology infrastructure, legendary work ethic, and growing government startup support. But the missing ingredients is that young people with entrepreneurial mindset and confidence. That's where you come in. Yes. So this is quite big challenge. Okay. So Let me bring this all together with the core message of today's lecture. Entrepreneurship is no longer optional. It's an essential. It's essential. From the individual perspective, you are the longest living generation in history. The traditional 30-year career model is obsolete, and you need entrepreneurial skills for extended lifetime opportunities. From the societal perspective, traditional employment can't absorb all talent. Automation is changing work faster than ever. Economic growth is slowing, and we need entrepreneurs for job creation, innovation, and economic adaptation. This is what I call the entrepreneurial imperative, not just an opportunity, but a necessity for both individual successes and societal health. So, how do you start developing an entrepreneurial mindset today? Let me give you some practical guidance. First, see opportunities, not just problems. When you encounter frustration, ask, how could this be better? When you see inefficiency, ask, is this a business opportunity? Second, embrace uncertainty. Develop comfort with ambiguity and view change as opportunity rather than threats. Third, build a network. Develop relationships with potential customers, suppliers, partners, and mentors. Of course, and your classmates. And fourth, commit to lifelong learning. The skills that got you here will not be the skills that get you where you need to go in the future. Fifth, take calculated risk. This means intelligent analysis, not recklessness. And sixth, maybe the last one, fail fast and learn faster. Test ideas quickly and cheaply, then iterate based on feedback. So here is the important clarification. I'm not saying that you should drop out of university and start a company tomorrow, like a Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. I'm saying you should start thinking like an entrepreneur today. Actually, this is a key concept. So why you are getting your education and building your foundation, of course. Okay, this is the last page for the first class understanding entrepreneurship. Let me close with that quote from Marina Abramovic again. We are never short of money. We are short of people with a vision. This brings me to the defining question for your generation. Will you be a passive consumer of opportunities that others create, or will you be an active creator of opportunities for yourself and others? Your generation faces unprecedented challenges. For example, climate change, technological distribution, economic uncertainty, and demographic shift. But you also have unprecedented tools, global connectivity, access to information, crowdfunding platforms, social media reach, and AI amplification. The choice that defines your generation is this: will you wait for someone else to solve the problems you see, or will you develop the skills and mindset to solve them yourself? It starts now. The decision you make in this moment will shape the next 8 years of your life. Thank you for your attention today. I'm excited about the journey we are beginning together, and I look forward to seeing how you apply these concepts in your own life and careers. Thank you. See you then.